Hi, this is Dave Johnson with Atheist Journey. Today, I'd like to talk about on giving thanks. As I record this, this is the day after Thanksgiving, and I think it's appropriate to talk about this. It's also an important topic for success in general, um, but we'll get to that in a moment. So, uh, I really want to reference a blog post that was made by The Catholic Thing. The Catholic Thing is a conservative Catholic blog which comes out every day. And so let's take a quick look at it. So the title of this blog post is Thanks Within Thanks, and it was published yesterday on, uh, on their website. So I'm going to go through it fairly quickly. It's written by Michael Pakalik, published yesterday, as I said. Let us suppose that on Thanksgiving Day, your mother, a woman of outstanding Catholic piety and adorned with the virtues, has baked an artisanal loaf of sourdough bread and, having sliced off a piece, has placed it still steaming, buttered, before you on a plate. Smiling, she awaits your response. Something of the highest nobility has been done for you, and now it becomes a test to see whether your character is appropriate to the gift, according to St. Thomas Aquinas. Now, Aquinas lived in the 1200s, and let me just bring up a picture of him. So, this is just one image of him. He's a rather prolific writer for the Catholic religion and has something to say about this. So, let's get back to our blog post. Um, so, so, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, to respond properly to this kindness, you must draw upon four distinct virtues, not one, but four. These virtues are as if nested because the principles or causes of the bread's being given to you are themselves nested. The first cause of your having received this bread is God, who made you and your mother and her virtues and the wheat and everything else. God, who is still intimately concerned with them, knowing even the number of molecules in the slice, like the hairs on your head. And let's not omit it, also its flavorfulness and crumb, and how it specially delights you. Okay, now, a lot of us have problems with this idea of attributing things to God, and I'm certainly one of those. Although, uh, I just want to say for the time being, God is a symbol, at least for me. We live in basically a Christian culture, and I hope to have a lot more to say about that in future videos. So, this original cause of good requires, on your part, the response of due cult. Not sure what that is, as Saint Thomas Aquinas puts it. And so you say a blessing, perhaps the traditional hamatzi, again, whatever that is, who brings forth, like the one Jesus would have said. So, blessed are you, Lord, our God, King of the universe, who brings forth bread from the earth. Now, I'm currently watching episodes from The Chosen, and it's not just Jesus who says this in these episodes. It's all Jews at that time prayed whenever they were getting ready to eat anything or drink anything, or when they woke up in the morning or before they went to bed at night. So, this is just one of the prayers that they say. And in fact, it's interesting, word for word, it's exactly what is quoted in uh, the chosen. So, blessed are you, Lord, our God, King of the universe, who brings forth bread from the earth. To respond properly to this gift here and now of this particular piece of bread, it becomes due to you to worship God. Now, again, uh, I've never been able to get a clear answer from a minister or a priest what we mean by worship, but maybe the answer lies somewhere in thanks or gratitude. I just kind of throw that out there. What you say in worship is indeed a blessing. We call it saying grace. Yet, grace here means expressing that we take pleasure, and Latin gratis, in the gift and the giver. And the more will be said about that in the following paragraphs. Uh, or we can call it giving a thank. The original term was singular. I find this interesting. Um, so thank is related to think, meaning that we think of, we tarry in thought upon the gift and the giver with delight. But because strictly we are thus turning with thanks toward the one who we recognize as our creator, we are worshiping God through the virtue of religion. So, religion is the first of the four virtues that we must show. So, this nested hierarchical gratitude that we're giving, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, uh, gratitude to God is the first of these hierarchical levels. But the cause or principle of your receiving the bread there is not merely God, your creator, but also your mother, your co creator, without whom you would not have been born and would not have survived to sit here and would not have learned the word bread or good manners in eating it, or that you should smile or and chew 21 times or whatever and break the bread before you take a bite. Okay, so yes, I think we need to be grateful for the fact that our mother gave birth to us. Okay, and our father probably had something to do with it too. Now, as I scroll down, we come across an image here. All of these Catholic blog posts uh, have an image somewhere embedded in them. I've been reading now this blog post for 5 years. Very interesting. I'm going to put a link to this below the video uh, before I post it. And by the way, this image, it's a painting, Prayer Before the Meal by Jan Steen from 1660. Okay, so the blog continues, and likely it was your mother who taught you the words even to say grace. And so, yes, a machine might stuff bread down your throat. It's an interesting thought. But, but that you are in a position to take and eat it as a human being is mainly the work of your mother and father. Everything that is received in the manner of the recipient. And this manner, good manners, is given to you by that woman there. Now, a specific type of reverence is needed, worship in the old sense. So, reverence and worship, uh, he's equating these ideas, is due to our parents as such. You know exactly what this is if your mom has passed away, because no one else can give you bread in the way that it was your mom who gave you bread. St. Thomas calls the habit of showing such reverence piety. So this is the second virtue you need to draw upon, piety nested within religion. I want to pause here for a moment and consider the idea of piety. So I go to Wikipedia, and if I can uh, bring it up here. Um, okay, so going down to the second page on this, piety, according to Aquinas, Aquinas spoke of piety in the context of one's parents and country, and given the obligation to accord each what is rightfully due them. So I won't go much into it beyond that, but here Aquinas is using the term piety as a form of respect for your parents. So let's go back to uh, the blog post. And so, okay. And as if it's likely your mother taught piety to you, then your giving thanks is itself her gift. But she is God's gift, and thus, thank you, Mom, is twice nested within thank you, God. But then your mother, we are supposing, is adorned with grace and virtue. Suppose we're instead somebody, Saint Martin, the mother of Saint Teresa, or Saint Victoria Ulma, whoever these people are, or perhaps it's enough to say she's a baptized wife and mother in the state of grace. Such a dignity is already her natural. It is literally out of this world. Okay. Now, this author is getting a little out there for me, but I'm still, I try to extract the best from these blog posts and try to understand something more about religion in general and my place in the world. What he's trying to get at here is the third level of gratitude. And so, or simply ponder what any mother can claim by way of achievement, the dignity and merits of nights getting up with her children, scrubbing floors and cleaning, or feeling cares and shedding tears, of shopping for you and the never ending car rides. All these dignities we honor mothers for, or we used to honor mothers for on Mother's Day. She has them even when it's not Mother's Day. And then he goes on and talks about some king and even mentions Jordan Peterson. I suppose Jordan Peterson was in my house and he thought to cut a slice of bread and bring it to me, but one greater than Jordan Peterson for you, and he's referring to your mother, is here. So this is the third level of gratitude, being thankful for the fact that your mother is even here and giving this bread to you. And a distinct virtue is needed for recognizing such excellence and for seeing it as a secondary cause under God and ordered within paternal and maternal authority. We need a third virtue. So that's what this virtue is talking about. He calls it observance. And then fourth, there is the mere fact that someone or other did something good for you, acting as a benefactor to whom you are a beneficiary, not of a random, but of a deliberate act of kindness. So, talking about this general idea of something good happening to you, so kind of at the bottom of the hierarchy, if you will, and you would give thanks even in a case like this. So, purely so, with nothing added. Thus, St. Thomas says the fourth requisite virtue is gratitude, nested within the other three. This Thanksgiving, then, give thanks that you can give a fourfold thanks. At dinner, give thanks for the benefaction of your fellow man, grateful for your God's polity and bestowed excellence, while you honor your mother and father and bless the God of all creation who brings forth bread and turkey and gravy from the earth. So I did want to add a little bit extra to this. Not only should you be thankful, but recognize that this, whatever you have in the world, comes from, the fact that we live in a civilization that has achieved spectacular success in terms of being able to provide food for billions of people. But more than that, as we go through the day, we need to have faith. And yes, I'm going to argue vehemently for faith here because we can't prove that this is always going to happen. But faith that as you walk down the street, you're not going to have an asteroid land on your head. Faith that you're not going to be murdered. Faith that your friends are still going to be your friends, and so on. And also the gratitude and thanks have to be bound with this faith that you are receiving something that maybe you only did a little bit to earn. You didn't grow the wheat, okay? You didn't probably make the bread. You may have had something to do with working to provide the money for the bread, but where you work, who you work for, what you do for a living, those things are all provided for you by the broader civilization, by the fact that we are on a stable planet orbiting the sun in a stable part of the galaxy. And these things we should remember from time to time. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. I will post the link to this website blog um, below the video. And if you enjoyed the video, please, if you haven't already, um, subscribe and like the video. And I'll see you next time.